So for my for my bed structure, I've decided to do the bed in 2 sections. Actually, maybe 4 sections. So I'm going to have a bed that is about 6'1" long and 30 inches deep. So that's going to be a single bed, and I need to build it low enough that I could transfer someone out of a wheelchair onto the bed. So I cannot build it high, it has to be low, but the height has to be such that it clears my water tank, because it's the highest point here, and obviously my water heater. So my water system is going to be mostly under the bed. So I'm going to build this platform in 2 sections. I'm going to first have a front section, and then I'm going to have a rear section. And then on top of that is going to be a 3/4 inch piece of plywood that spans both. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount heavy duty drawer slides, like 25-inch drawer slides, onto the supporting member here on both sides, so I could slide out a 25-inch section in this area and a 25-inch section in this area to make a second bed. So this is going to allow us to have a couch that we could use, and also allow it to be converted into a bed for 2 by sliding the lower section out for 1 bed and using the couch for this other bed. So I'm in the process of building the wood structure to house the I'm in the process of building the wood structure for the first 30-inch bed that's going to be fixed and will also be used as a couch. I'm starting to do the bed construction for the van, and I need to do some pocket holes in a few boards to put the structure together. So there's a lot of different ways to build a bed platform in a van, and of course this is a ProMaster, and you really need to build it to satisfy the needs that you're striving to accomplish for the van build. To help with the installation of the drawer slides, I bought these Kreg jig fixtures, and what they do is you can clamp them on to your upright to where you want the bottom of the portion of the slide that attaches to the box. And then when you set that on, that gives you a level slide. So I don't think I got any screws with me. I'll be back. And then so here's with one of my 25-inch drawer slides installed. And the idea for my bed is to have a fixed 30-inch bed, and then below that I'm going to have two pull-out sections, a front section and a back section. And those pull-out sections are going to be the bed extension for the second person. So there'd be actually four slides, two for the front section, two for the back section. So I'm just installing these now to see how it's going to work. So, in order to finish installing the slide with the Kreg jig, you basically mount the Kreg jig. You flip the Kreg jigs around, and now you're mounting them out to support the drawer, so you can, or the slide, so you can put the screws in. Okay. One more time. Slide that right up to the handle like that. this onto that like that. Let's just see what happens. One, two. Just finished the first section of the second pull-out bed, and again the way the system is going to work, or the bedding is going to work, is there going to be a 6 foot long or so permanent bed mounted on the frame, and then the second bed is going to be underneath the first bed on drawer slides, and it's going to be two sections, a shorter section and a longer section. And underneath this shorter section is the water heater. So I had to set it up such that the pull-out bed, it clears the water heater, and that kind of dictated the height. So the way this works is you release the drawer slides and you extend it out. And they are 200-pound drawer slides. And it easily supports my weight. And there's going to be another section with 250-pound drawer slides. There'll be another section with 250-pound drawer slides. So this can also go as a seat. You know, you can sit here, you can sit out the back, or you can sit facing this way. So it's going to work pretty good. Okay, to mount these rails, these drawer slides, I need to mount the Craig Jig guide such that it's going to be at the right height up and down and parallel to this member and equal height off the floor or down from the top from the one that I just installed on the other side. So what I've been doing is I've been using this block here, and this allows me to get the right height and also the right angle because the frame isn't 100% square. So to start with, I clamp my vertical member and then I clamp my Craig Jig on. Then I've set up the depth from the top of the 2x4 to the top of my drawer slide. So if I put it on here, I can see it. Pretty close, but it's dropping off as I go along. So I need to lift the bottom up a bit. So here's my two bed slides extended out, and this is going to be one bed, this is going to be the second bed, and I'm just installing the second section, and what I'm doing is I'm using the Craig Jig fixtures to hold it up while I adjust the fixture, and when this platform is extended and this platform is extended, I want them to be level. So that's what I'm working on, is to get them nice and level. And I have taken my frame that I built and I've clamped a 3/4 inch piece of plywood on top of the frame and I'm leveling up this top surface of the 3/4 inch plywood with this surface, and I've checked the both ends and I've made the adjustments and they look pretty good. So I want to mark it so I know that it stays put. I'll get a pencil. A pencil in my pocket. How about that? So I'm going to just mark it along this line here on this side. So here's the Kreg jig supporting the frame of the bed, and I've extended the slide completely out. I've paralleled this to the surface here, and there are a couple places where you put screws in. So there's 1, 2, 3 places to put screws in for this extension arm. Attach it to the base, and I just built all my little screws here. So let's attach into this first slot right here. Okay, let's leave that last one for a minute. So we've only got 2 in there. Let's work on the other side. See if we can level it up. Okay. Again, a beautiful collection of clamps. The bed construction is pretty much complete. Have to put a few more tie downs into the van structure to hold it really in place, but for now this is kind of what it looks like. I do not have a top 3/4 inch piece of plywood yet because I ran out of plywood and our stores have been locked down, so I'm waiting for them to open, hopefully this week or next, and I can get a piece of ply for the top section. But in the meantime, I put this shorter piece on to just demonstrate on how this is going to work. So, as I've said before, this van is a wheelchair accessible van, so therefore I needed to keep the bed low so that I could do a transfer from a wheelchair into the bed. So in order to do that, the wheelchair will come up here. We'll do the transfer into here. Let me put some under that. So this will pop up onto here, and then so the first person then will be transferred up, and this is the first bed. Not overly comfortable because I'm lying on a piece of plywood, but hopefully you get the picture. And then, oh, lost my hat. So once that transfer's taken place, then I could pull out the second bed, which is going to be underneath the first one. And then that will be a place for me to sleep. Then in the morning, I can take the cushions off here, slide in this section, slide in this section, and then get Rosina up. But interestingly enough is that you could pull this section out here, have a cushion on here, and you have additional seating. You could be facing this way to the back, or you could be facing to the front. Or you can pull this section out for a larger additional seating to be facing the front, or having your legs dangle out the back of the van. Also, you could use this section here as the couch. And if you wanted a footrest, you can pull this out. Now you got a footrest. So that's the design. So I could be accessible, add additional seating, be a couch, because the purpose of the van is really to travel and visit people and to get away, and we needed a very wide aisle for a wheelchair, and we need it to be wheelchair accessible for the bed, the shower, and the sink. So that's what I'm working on.